not somebody I say you don't.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing a reading vlog. It's been a while since I've actually filmed one of these, so I always love watching these and I hope that you guys enjoy them too, just taking you throughout like my reading journey. Right now I am reading Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. I'm not very far into this. I think I'm 111 pages in. I'm still in the beginning part of it. It's like 700 pages. The series, the Magnolia Park series, is one of my favorite series that I've ever read, so reading this is just making me like so happy. It's one of those books that I feel like sometimes when I'm reading I like feel like I have to read it because it's on my TBR. Like I bought the book and sometimes you just don't always like love the book you're reading, and obviously this is just one of those series that like I know I'm gonna enjoy. I love the story. It's just gonna be a good book. I'm really excited to continue into the series. I like it so far. There is a lot of like extra detail. This is their last book, Magnolia and BJ's last book in the series, so I feel like she's doing it for the OG fans who are like in love with them as a couple, just to kind of like drag out the story, because obviously none of us want their story to end. I think that's why she made it so long. It's just because we don't want it to end. I'm gonna continue on reading with this. I'll share my thoughts with you as I continue to go. It's 5:22 right now. I have nothing to do for the rest of the night. I worked out this morning, so I feel good about that, and I just had dinner, so I'm just gonna pretty much read all night. I'm really excited. I've been reading for a little under an hour. I'm on page 150. I literally love them so much. This is 100% my favorite book that I've read in this series so far anyways. I even broke out my tabs, and I hardly ever tab books. That's how you know that I'm loving like the quotes and just Magnolia and BJ. Like I just love them so much. I don't want to give anything away because it is like the 5th book in the series, but I'm just really enjoying it. Like if you have not read the series, you need to read it, all for this book alone, and I'm only 150 pages in, so I hope that it continues to be this way and be as good as it is right now. I really can't go into much detail. Like I want to explain what's happening, but if I say anything, it's gonna give away like the last 2 books of theirs. And I've tabbed a little bit. I just started tabbing not that long ago, and I already have 4 in here. Hi guys, it is the next day. I am still reading this. I'm a third through the book. I'm on page 242, and I love this book so much. Like this might be one of my all-time favorite books. I'm having a great time tabbing as well. Like I think this is the first book I've actually like sat here and done physical tabs. I've done them when I read on my Kindle, just like highlighting stuff, but I'm actually doing like real tabs on it and I'm loving it. I feel like we're getting a lot more of Magnolia and BJ's family, which is different than the previous books. The focus of this book is just so much different than the last 2. I just feel like it's a lot more mature, although let's just say like Magnolia and BJ are obviously still, they have their immature moments. Like there was a part in this book where Magnolia did something and I was like, okay, but for the most part it's a lot more like mature, and I just feel like they're like, just seeing the character development in them is so interesting. So far today I've read about 40 pages, maybe a little bit more than that. I do have to be up like really early tomorrow actually. Earliest I've had to be up in a really long time, so I'm probably gonna go to bed fairly early tonight. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I'll probably read for a few more hours and then head to bed. Loving it. I'll keep you guys updated though. Hi guys, it is a few days later. I'm still reading this book. I've been reading this for like 2 weeks now, but I keep telling myself it's 700 pages. Like, this is basically like reading like 2.5 books, honestly, because most books are around 300, 350. It's like reading like 2 books. I'm on page 510. I really want to finish this book either tonight or tomorrow, hopefully, or sometime this weekend. I have so many thoughts about this book. I am still tabbing this. I don't know where my tabs are, so I just put creases in my book. That's probably gonna trigger some of you guys, but it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, so I need to go back and tab those. Love this book so much. Like, probably one of my favorite books I've ever read. I think Happy Place is still my favorite book so far. I've obviously not finished with this one, but Happy Place just has like such a special place in my heart. I just have never related to a book so much. I love that book, and I feel like this is definitely second when it comes to my favorite books of all time. That makes me really excited to finish this, and I honestly, like, I think that's why I keep dragging out, because I don't want it to end. There has only been one scene in this book so far that I did not like at all. It includes one character that I really don't like in any of the books in this series. I don't know why, I just have never liked him, and I feel like Magnolia becomes so selfish when it comes to him. I really like the way that the author writes like the character is talking to you. I remember there was this one scene with BJ where he was like, he brought up somebody's name, I don't know who it was. He was like, you remember them, right? And I just love that, because it's like he's like talking to you, like you're the one, like you're having a conversation. And I just really enjoy the way that Jesse Hastings writes the books. There is so much character growth in this book. Like, it is crazy going from the first book to this. It's like, I just love that about a series, that you just get so invested, and just seeing how much the characters have grown and like their personalities, and just in like the trauma that they're going through. Just makes me so sad that this is the last book of theirs. I know that I'll go back and read this someday. Like, I just have to relive it. I have to love it even more. I'm gonna continue reading this, and hopefully I'll check in with you guys when I finally finished it. Hi guys, I honestly do not remember the last time I updated this video, but I wanted to talk about the book I finished. So I did finish Into the Dark. This is the 3rd Magnolia Parks book, the 5th book in the series. I have never tabbed a book this much ever, like fully tabbed a book. And I didn't even start tabbing until I was like 100 pages in. This was a 6-star read for me. I cannot wait to go back and reread this. Like, if you have not read this series, you need to read this series. I had some mixed thoughts when I first started getting into it, so if that's how you feel, like if you tried and that's how you feel, please just try it again. Jesse Hastings is such a good author. The way that I cried throughout this book, I laughed, I giggled, I was heartbroken. Like, I felt every single emotion there was to feel when I read this book. I wish I could have gotten like my raw reactions to me reading this book. I want to find a good quote in here. Okay, I just flipped this one. I didn't even look. It says, "I've loved this face all my life. It's the sun I pray to, and if what we have is a temple, I built it with my bare hands. I nearly died trying to build this thing. Built it till my hands were raw and bloodied, and I'll die on the altar of loving her happily too. That's not a waste to me." I'm literally gonna cry. How many loves do you get in a lifetime? This is a question I've pondered on for a lot of years now, and I've come up with varying degrees of the same answer, that there are lots of different kinds of love that life may afford you the chance to experience over the course of one's life. Some terrible, some misguided, some well-meaning, some dangerous, some wonderful but benign, some painful, some, when you lose them, are agony. If you're lucky, you might get a great one, and I know I'm the luckiest because I got 2. You are the thing that the poets wrote about. You are what the choir of angels is singing about. You are the thing that clouds part above and the sun beams down upon. You're every butterfly in every stomach. You're my every tender thought. Oh, it just keeps going. Oh my god. Okay. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I don't have words. That's all I have to say about that book. I did end up picking out my next read. I started reading it last night, and that is the first book in the Acotar series. If you're not living under a rock, you have definitely heard about this book. One of the most popular book series ever, I'm pretty sure. So many of my friends, so many people on YouTube, Instagram have recommended this book to me and said that I have to read this series. I honestly don't know anything about this series. I tried not to spoil anything. I wanted to go in blindly and just be able to have my own opinion. Obviously everyone loves it, so I can't really go in completely blind. I have started at, I think I'm on page 12 right now, so I'm barely into the book, but I'm gonna go ahead and read this tonight. I'll probably read for the next few hours. I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. It is the next morning. I wanted to update you guys on my reading for this book. I did not read as much as I wanted to last night. I did end up purchasing the book on my Amazon Fire. I call it my Kindle. It's technically an Amazon Fire because it's like huge. I got it for Christmas from my parents, and I wish it was a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I mean, it still has Kindle and everything that I need on here, and it is super cute. But I had a gift card for $20, so I just ended up buying it on here. It was only like $7 something, I think, so it wasn't expensive at all compared to other books on here. But I got to chapter 6, which I think is page 46. Basically what has happened so far, there is this girl, her name is Farah. She's part of this family who has lost pretty much everything that they used to have. They used to have a very wealthy life. Her mom has passed away, so it's just her 2 sisters and her dad that she is living with, and her dad has like a broken leg. And then the sisters are like just really mean to Farah and treat her not very nicely, especially when she's the one who is always like providing. Farah goes out to the woods and she's trying to find food for her family. She ends up finding this deer who is being hunted down by a wolf. In this story, from what I understand, there is this other place in the world that is protected by wards. So to kind of explain the politics of the story, the world used to be ruled by immortal fairies. Farah and her family and a bunch of other people have since branched off from that, and there are these wards up, so the immortal fairies are not able to get into their new world where they are protected. But apparently there's been like a breach in the ward that has allowed some of the fairies to be able to come into their world. So while Farah's out hunting, she ends up killing the wolf that is hunting the deer. She just goes about her day, and then I think it's the next day, this really scary creature shows up at her house and spooks out her family. She ends up finding out that the wolf that she killed was one of the fairies. So this creature is somebody from the immortal fairy world, which is called the Prithian, I think that's how you say it. And basically he has taken her captive since she killed this wolf. The options for her are to be killed right then and there, or to go with this creature and live in their world for the rest of her life. That is basically what has happened so far. She has just now gotten to the Prithian world, and I think it took like 2 days horseback to get there. It's definitely very different than anything I've ever read, which I love. I am seeing parts of different books that I've read kind of come into the story, which I guess I can say acotar, I believe, was written before all of these books, so these other books are inspired by this one. I'm excited to continue the story. I'm going to read a little bit this morning before I have to go to work. I will check in with you guys tonight when I read a little bit more as well. Hi guys, it is later in the day now. I just got out of work and showered and everything, and I'm reading now, and I'm on chapter 8, page 75, and I just wanted to update you guys on what's happened. And now Farah is in the Prythian world. So she has been given like this room to stay in. They basically told her like she can do whatever she wants there, and she kind of just has like free range. And then right now she's just very confused as to like why they would capture her but then give her all that she wants. Basically, she's looking for like weapons right now to protect herself just in case. As of right now, to her knowledge, she thinks that she'll have to be here forever based on what is being told to her. And then another big part that was just introduced is that the magic in the Prythian land is diminishing. So that's kind of a big part to it, and it's caused by like a disease that is very, very slowly spreading. It can get through the wards into the human world, which hasn't happened yet, but it is like a concern. I think from here I'm probably not going to explain too much of the plot because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read this book, but that I feel like that's kind of like the consensus of what the story is going to be. Anyways, I'm going to continue and I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. I wanted to give an update on the book. I am almost halfway through acotar. Let's see where I'm at. I'm on page 171, which is 40% through the book, and I am starting to love it so much. I feel like I'm actually starting to really understand the world. At first, there's a lot of world building, which is obviously common for a fantasy book, so it can be a little bit confusing at first when you're trying to learn how everything works, who's like in power and how the world works and all of that. But I think for the most part everything has kind of been explained at this point, and now we're getting more into the characters getting closer to each other and developing relationships. Yeah, I am loving it so far. I feel like it's super fast paced. This first book is honestly pretty short. It's only 430 pages, which compared to the last book I read, which was 700 pages, and then the other books in this series, I think this is a lot quicker, which just makes it a lot easier to get into. I know the next two books are huge. The fourth book is pretty small, and then the last book is also huge. So I like that the first one is a lot quicker, and I think it's just gonna be a lot easier for me to finish. So I'm gonna continue reading tonight. I honestly have like not wanted to put the book down, and that happens quite a lot when I'm reading. Like I'll catch myself on my phone and just getting distracted really easily. But with this one, the past like 15% of the book, I have been like super engaged and not wanting to put the book down. So that's a super good sign. I'm really excited to continue this and see how the story goes. I think from here on out, I'm not going to give any information on what the book is about because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Because this is a super popular series, I feel like if you haven't read it, I don't want to give anything away. We're starting to see building of relationships, and yeah, Farah has been in the Prythian world now for a while. It hasn't said exactly a time frame, but it has been a while that she's been there, so she's kind of getting used to it, used to her space and used to the people around her. I am excited to continue, and I will keep you guys updated on my thoughts and my readings on the book. Hi guys, it is a few days later. I wanted to update you guys on my reading. So I did end up finishing the first book in the acotar series. I feel like I'm not very good at explaining very much while I'm reading, but yeah, I got through this last night. I finished it. I don't know what it is. I was really interested in the story at first. As I kept reading, I just felt like I was not loving it a ton. Like the story was super interesting, and there was also like a big plot twist in the middle of it that I was not expecting at all. So I thought that that was pretty cool, but I don't know what it is about it. I was just not like super into it, and I've heard that the first book is not the best and that it gets better as you continue the series, so I'm hoping that's the case. But I'm not going to continue it this month, I don't think, because I do have like a full TBR that I'm trying to get through at the moment. When I do pick this up, I am hoping that the next books will be better. I've been talking with my friend about it. She is currently rereading the acotar series right now, and she told me that her favorite book is the second book. A lot of people do say that it does get better as you keep going, so I'm not giving up on it. I have the full series, so I do want to read the full series, and I do trust that it will get better. Like, it was a good book. I ended up rating it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I actually didn't know that there was a romance in this book. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but there is a romance in this book, and I just did not feel the connection affection for the characters at all. There was another character in the story. I just liked him way more. It was okay. So 3.5 out of 5 stars is my rating for this one. And then I did my March TBR video, so I'm trying to get through those books on my TBR. One of those books is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This was the book that my cousin picked in that video, so if you haven't watched that, go watch that video because that was a super fun video to do and I can't wait to do more of those in the future. She ended up picking this book for me. I am on page 115. I think there's about 350 pages in this. I read like 30 pages last night and I continued to read it this morning. It's a mystery thriller book. It's about this girl. I think she's an actress and her husband has just passed away. He actually drowned in the lake that they own a house on. So he passed about a year ago and she went through a really hard time after he passed away, and it's now been, like I said, it's been a year. She's kind of on lockdown. Her mom is forcing her to stay in this house that they own on the lake because she's just going through a lot and she kind of embarrassed herself publicly, and yeah, so she's like on lockdown right now. So it starts off, she's looking out at the lake and she sees this floating body in the lake, and so she goes out and it ends up being this really famous model. So she saves her life. The girl that was in the water, her and her husband have just moved into the house across the lake. The main character in this, she kind of spies on them a lot. Their house is very see-through. It's like made of glass, so you can see everything. The main character is spying on this house a lot and she starts to notice some suspicious things happening. I feel like this book is starting to be predictable and I'm just hoping that what I'm thinking in my mind is not what is actually going to happen. We'll see how it continues. That's one thing that I don't like about reading these types of books, is that sometimes they can be super predictable. In the past I have had pretty good luck. Like The Silent Patient, I guessed it a little bit before it happened, but it was still like, I really liked that book. And then also The Housemaid, I did not guess that at all. I feel like you can start to piece some things together, but at this point I'm only 100 pages into the book. Like I should not be able to figure out what is happening already, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna continue reading this tonight. I have to work for about an hour and then I'm gonna read this. It's already like 10 o'clock, but I don't work until 11 tomorrow, so I am gonna stay up a little bit later and try to read this. Hopefully I don't get too spooked because obviously I'm all alone in my apartment, so yeah. But I will keep you guys updated with my thoughts on that. I think that's all I have to say right now. All right guys, I wanted to update on my reading with The House Across the Lake. I am almost halfway through the book at this point. This book gives me such an eerie feeling. Like just reading it, I feel like so eerie. Something about Riley Sager's writing just gives me the chills. The book is kind of taking a little bit of a turn than what it was before, and I feel like I still have some predictions for the end. Obviously I don't know if they're gonna be true or not, and I'll keep you guys updated on that, but I really can't say much because I don't want to give anything away. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's very fast paced. These kind of books always are, so I love that about them. I don't know. I will continue to keep you guys updated on if what I think is gonna happen actually happens.
Your favorite place is still mine. Now I take the long way home, avoid what I can't let go. I don't always think about you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I try.
I knew it.
All of the streets we used to on First Avenue. Cause sometimes I don't even know where I'm going at first. All of the turns that I had to unlearn, back to the surface, the feeling of all that we were.
I literally have chills and I'm like crying. Oh my gosh, I literally guessed this, but it's still like so shocking to me. I have chills like all on my body. Oh my gosh, every time I like realize I get chills. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop for tonight because I'm low-key getting like freaked out. So I'm on page 223 right now. I have about 115 pages left. I'm so excited to keep reading. I'm probably going to finish this in the morning, but wow, I have chills, like I said, for the 15th time. I literally knew it. I knew it. It was one of my guesses, and like, even though I guessed it, I wasn't for sure, and when it finally happened, it's like still really shocking. So I don't know. Anyways, hi guys, it has been some time since I finished up the last book that I kind of wanted to go over. I did end up finishing The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I actually finished this about a week ago, and I'm just now doing my wrap up, but it was very fast paced. I actually finished this book in like about 2 days, I think. I don't really know how much footage I got of me reading it. I was also at my parents' when I was reading a lot of it. Yeah, I don't think I got much footage of me actually reading it besides the one part that I reacted to, which in that part, it wasn't actually what I thought it was. I thought I was right about something, and then something else happened. Like, I don't know, I was not right in that instance. I just needed to keep reading to realize. But I did enjoy the book. I felt like it was kind of predictable. I did predict a lot of what happened, which that does tend to happen. Like, it happened to me in The Silent Patient, but I still rated the book highly. Like, I enjoyed the storyline. Overall, this book reminded me a lot of a specific Colleen Hoover book that I rated 5 stars a long time ago. If you've read that book, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to like give it away, but if you read the book, like, you know what I'm talking about if you've also read this one. It's very similar concept. I don't know, like, I've seen it before, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a crazy plot story that I've never seen happen before. For that reason, I didn't rate it like really highly. Let me see what I actually gave this. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars overall. It's literally been a week and I'm already like forgetting my complete thoughts of this. I did enjoy it. It wasn't anything crazy. I think it's a great book if you enjoy mystery thrillers. I don't know what else to say about that. Like, it's a good book. It's not groundbreaking, but it's not bad, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, going over all of the books that I read in this video. First book I read was obviously Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I'm not gonna go too much into this because I've already talked about this book so much on my channel. 6 stars. Love this book so much. I cannot wait to go and reread the series, and I also can't wait for the Daisy Hates book to come out that is after this one. We love it. And then I read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm excited to continue this book. I'm actually continuing it in April. I'm trying to get through my other books on my TBR that I have right now, but yeah, the ending was pretty crazy. I was not expecting that. Overall, again, I gave this 3.5 stars. Also, I just realized that there's literally a wolf on the front. Why did I always think it was like a snake? That's so interesting. And then, like I said, 3.5 for this one. So that is my final thoughts on this video. I love filming these types of videos, so if you guys enjoyed, let me know. I really want to do like themed reading vlogs, like reading my TBR for the month, reading super highly rated TikTok books, like things like that. So comment down below some ideas for that if you would like to see that from me. I think that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.